This childhood favorite is super easy to make. Silky steamed egg custard served with some Chinese veggies and rice. It's the perfect simple meal. Hey everyone, I'm Flo, Dude is behind the camera, and we're all about simple food, simple faith. Steamed egg custard is one of those simple meals that I remember growing up with. Mom used to make it almost weekly, sometimes with pork, sometimes without, and I'm sure every Cantonese family will remember this. We're going to get started with our water first because preparing the egg for this dish is super quick. So let's get this started. We're going to bring the water to boil. I have already put a steam rack in there. If you don't have a steam rack, you can just ball up aluminum foil, like 3 of them maybe, to hold your dish above the water. And there you have a DIY homemade steamer. I'm using 4 eggs today, and I'm going to crack them into my measuring cup because someone had taught me a cheat on how to measure the liquid to go along with the egg. So we want 1.5 portions of water or broth to egg. And what I normally do is I would crack the egg and then I'd use a half shell, and I'd use 3 half shells per egg that I cook. And then it doesn't matter what size your eggs are because it will, well, a half shell is a half shell. We have almost a cup of eggs. So I'm gonna pour the eggs now into a bowl. I'm just going to beat them up a little bit. So I will need 1.5 cups of chicken broth or boiled water that has been cooled down. Like, I don't know if it makes a difference, but my mom says that it always has to be cooled water. Cooled boiled water. That's about 1 cup. I'm going to pour that into the egg mixture. And then I need another 1/2 cup. And that's it.
You can't be serious.
Totally serious. And we're just waiting for the water to boil now. The water's boiled, and I'm gonna put my plate in there first so that we're not like trying to balance a plate of liquid, and then pour my egg in from here. You can cover your egg if you like, but I know that my wok lid isn't going to drip water into it, so I'm just going to leave it. You know what? The egg plate doesn't look very balanced. Let me shift it a little bit. Okay, we're going to steam this for about 15 minutes. I'll check it at 12 and see if it's done. I'm going to make a sauce that we're going to drizzle over the egg and our veggies today. So I have 1/2 teaspoon of white sugar already in there. Can you see it?
Nope.
It's right here. And I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, and just this light soy sauce, and 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce. The sugar is in there to balance out all the flavors. 1 teaspoon of sesame oil, and about 1/4 teaspoon of ground white pepper. Okay, we're just gonna stir this together. Okay, and set this aside. I am using Chinese yao choy, or it's also called choy sum today. We're using 1/2 pound today because there's only 3 of us having dinner tonight. And I've already cleaned them. I soaked it in water with about 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoons of salt, and just let it soak for about 3 minutes because that will kill any of the insects that may be hiding in the flowers or in between the stems. And then what I do is just gently run water in between each of like the leaves to make sure we get all the dirt and things out of the vegetables. If you see any open flowers, they'll be yellow. That's where insects like to hide. That's what my dad used to tell me anyway, so I'll just pluck them off. But these ones are fine. They're actually quite tasty. It's the most tender part of the vegetable. After I've cleaned them, I just want to trim the bottom of the stem because that's where it's dry. I had these growing in the garden. These are chives, so I'm just going to cut up a few of them to use as garnish. You don't have to if you don't want to. You can use green onion if you like. It just adds a little bit more flavor to your dish. So I'm just going to quickly chop some of this up while everything is cooking. I also made some rice. So I started the rice before I started with the egg. So your rice will be ready at the same time as everything else. It's been 12 minutes and I'm just going to check the egg, but I want to make sure that none of the condensation is going to drip into the egg. So I'm going to carefully remove the lid by tilting it to one side. All right, I think it's good. So we just want to make sure that it kind of jiggles without being wet in the middle. And I'm just going to take it out with my oven mitts. I actually think that it is much better made in the Instant Pot. I can make it without any of this ripple effect that's happening around the egg. I'm not sure why that's happened today, but I think it'll still be tasty. I know it's not perfect, but it's all about the taste, isn't it? In real life, you'll be making your veggies at the same time as your egg is steaming, but because of our setup here, I have to do this separately to show you what we're doing. So we're bringing a pot of water to boil on high. I've already added about 1 to 2 teaspoons of salt into the water. So we're just gonna wait for that to boil. Meanwhile, I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of vegetable oil. And then we'll get our veggies going. Veggies only take a minute. So this is how my mom does it. I think the salt just adds flavor and the oil makes it like the mouth feel better, because when there's no oil, it is more like it sticks to your mouth. Anyways, the water's boiled and we're gonna put the whole stock in and we're just gonna cook this for a minute. I'm gonna push the leaves in. You can use a bigger pot, but I always use this pot. And my mom also says that greens taste better when you cook them whole like that versus cutting them up and cooking them cut up. I don't know. Anyway, so that's why I do it this way as well. Also, it's easier to take out, bigger stems to take out. Okay, it's been about a minute. And you'll see there's a nice sheen on your vegetables as you take them out because you put the oil in there. I knew it. I'm so impatient. Okay, that sauce you made, we're gonna drizzle some on the egg. About half of it. And then we're gonna drizzle the rest on the veggies. And garnishing the egg with the chives. Are you all ready for?
Definitely. Meow, it's the taste. This is an awesome looking meal because when I was younger, I used to look at a meal like this and didn't think much of it. And it's only as I get older, I appreciate the taste profile, the textures, and simplicity of a meal like this. So, and also it's like, look how healthy it is. You got like simple proteins in the egg and the veg, leafy, green leafy veg. Let's get into the egg and just lay it on top. Thanks, Kaya. Let's get into it. Smooth, creamy, and the taste is simple and wholesome and super tasty. Sauce is awesome, of course. Love that. Get a piece of the choy. This is the way. Tender. Get some rice in there. Some more egg, more choy, more egg. It's good.
Thanks, dude. See how easy that was? I hope you guys will make it yourselves. In the meantime, the original recipe is in my cookbook, Chinese Homestyle. Check it out.